The big news last week, of course, was the return of our tribal chief, the OTC, Roman Reigns, returning at SummerSlam. And then almost immediately, Andy, it was reported that Roman was not only advertised for SmackDown in Tulsa this past Friday, but he's going to be advertised for this coming SmackDown, this coming Friday. So we're going to get a follow-up from what we saw last Friday. What did we see last Friday? Roman Reigns made his intentions clear, attacking Solo Sikoa. He picked up whatever, maybe you can tell me what they call it, whatever lay that Solo Sikoa... What's it called?
I think it's called the Ula Fala.
Okay, cool. That's great.
Maybe.
Whatever the thing is that Solo is wearing, Roman picked it up. That's what Roman used to wear all the time. He attacked Solo. Andy single-handedly took out the Bloodline. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, because them trying to build up how strong the Bloodline is, and Roman just comes in and says, nope, I don't think so. Man, what an appearance it was on SmackDown on Friday.
Yeah, it was awesome. I didn't know what to expect. I kind of thought he might come out and cut a promo. I'm glad he didn't, though. Honestly, I think coming out and just getting physical again and laying the beat down and everything else, I think was perfectly done and what they should have done.
Yep.
I think it's very interesting, though. Like, I know there's still a lot of speculation about the Jacob Fatu injury, about whether it's actually real, whether it was not real, whether it was planned and he accidentally got hurt in the spot that was planned to fake his injury, but then he actually got hurt in the planned spot, whatever the case is. I think Roman beating down the Bloodline every week and continuing to beat down the Bloodline every week can happen. And then Jacob shows back up and we get a Jacob Roman face off, and like things start to switch a little bit, because now Jacob's that enforcer. Jacob's the powerhouse and everything like that. So I that was like the thing I noticed the most, was the Bloodline feels a little weaker without Jacob Fatu standing right beside Solo Sikoa. And I think that was done on purpose.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's like when Solo came into the Bloodline, in the original Bloodline, things changed immediately. It was like, when Solo's not there, okay, you can get the best of it. But man, when Solo Sikoa shows up, get out of the way. It's the same thing with Jacob Fatu. I think you're absolutely right. And I think if we run with this a little bit, that Roman can take care of the Bloodline and then Jacob shows up, tables turn a little bit. He's got to have a reason to bring the Usos back. He's got to have a reason to ask for some help. So I think you're spot on with that. I don't know what's happening with the Jacob Fatu injury. All I know is that he's supposed to be one half of those tag team champions. Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa came out carrying the titles that still had the DIY side plates on them. Did you notice that?
I did not notice that, but that's hilarious.
Still had the DIY side plates on. Like, come on, guys. Like, just
DIY wins this Friday in their number one contenders match, and I think we can see where the things are headed.
We could. That's right. Maybe they're not changing the side plates for a reason. Yeah, I don't know, man. But I'll be interested to see kind of where it goes. A lot of people like you online the other night. I was watching the Twitter feed before Roman came on. A lot of people not happy. They were like, another commercial. Roman's not going to have any time. You know, when's Roman? Blah, blah, blah. I was like, listen, guys, there is no need for that man to come out and cut a promo yet.
Not right now.
Come out and just go to work. Let's just be physical. Let's show our dominance. Let's get now this Friday on SmackDown. Maybe we kick off the show with a Roman Reigns promo. I can totally see that happening, and I'm on board with that. But man, yes, he came in at SummerSlam and he took out Solo and he gave the nod to Cody. Okay, great. We still needed to know where his intentions lied. We still needed to know what he was after. And Andy, Friday night on SmackDown, that's all we needed. Was the last 3 minutes of the show come out, boom, 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 Roman's on top yet again.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think it begs the question of, when is Roman's first match back going to take place? Because now it's starting to feel like it might be sooner rather than later. which to me is kind of crazy to even think about. But it feels like, I don't think he's going to wrestle at Berlin, but whatever the show is after that.
Bad Blood's after that.
Bad Blood, which is a perfect title name for him and Solo going after it. So I think it seems like everything is pointing to Roman getting physical. Like the fact that Roman's getting physical now, it seems to be pointing to the fact that the match may happen sooner than we anticipated.
Roman Solo Bad Blood. Do you think the reason is because they don't feel like they can carry Solo all the way to one of the big four? Or do you think, I don't know. Why do you think they would push it as early as Bad Blood?
Honestly, I think, and this is all speculation, and I have no proof of any of this, so this is all off the top of the dome.
Oh, here we go.
This could be a scenario where they're just now starting to finalize who can appear at what pay-per-views down the line. And so maybe they see that they're able to get someone like The Rock and Roman around a little bit more than they anticipated. So now they don't have to, it's going to sound horrible, waste a big pay-per-view spot with Solo versus Roman. Like you can do it at Bad Blood. You can do the first one at Bad Blood because I think we're going to get more than one.
Yeah.
And that's where Jacob comes out and costs Roman or DQ or whatever the case is.
Sure.
And then now we've got another match that we're heading towards, probably at a Saudi show. And then we're heading into Survivor Series where who knows what could happen. And then the Rumble, and then we're back at WrestleMania. So I feel like it's not a bad idea to at least do a Roman versus somebody match at Bad Blood. It could be Roman versus Tama Tonga or something like that takes place.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how they book Roman, number one, as the babyface going forward. Because clearly he is, not just the pop. You saw the way that we talked about him not changing his character, but you saw the way he interacted with the crowd on SmackDown. He was very, he recognized the crowd, at least. He wasn't this.
He played them more.
He did.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. So it'll be interesting to see not only how they book him as the babyface, but how they book him not as champion. We talked about, are we still getting part-time Roman? Are we getting complete full-time Roman? Is it somewhere in between? I think you hit the nail on the head when you said we're trying to figure it out. We're trying to get those steps. So maybe we are fast-tracking the Solo Sikoa match. But I'm interested to see how they're going to book him not as champion. And Andy, I think it goes back to the conversation we had last week of, is there enough room on SmackDown or in the WWE for both Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes to be at the top of the mountain? Is that plateau big enough for them to share it? But Andy, I think the bigger question is now, does Roman Reigns not necessarily overshadow Cody Rhodes, the man, the wrestler, but overshadow the WWE Championship? I think that's probably the bigger question.
Well, and I think that's part of the reason. I think that's part of the reason why Roman might be on SmackDown this week, is because we could get a face-to-face with Roman and Cody.
Yeah,
and we could get some explanation there, because the whole. I mean, I don't know if this is on our notes or not, and if it's not, then we can just kind of mention it here. But we're getting Cody versus KO at Bash at Berlin.
We are. Yep, that's right.
And part of the reason why Kevin Owens took the match was because he heard Roman was about to get a title shot. I was like, no, I'll take the title shot. That's my title. So I think it makes sense to add Roman into this mix a little bit. And because there's a video going around of a close up of Roman looking at Cody post SummerSlam saying, "I didn't do this for you. That's my championship. I'm coming back for it when I want it." So I think that's kind of like planting the seeds of getting a Roman Cody 3 at some point. And that way we're not overshadowing the title, because that's still, like, apart from being the tribal chief, that's Roman Reigns' identity. And so he's going back after it. And I think that does enough for, if Cody wins again, beats him again, then, that establishes Cody even more and that title even more with Cody.
Yeah. I completely agree. Roman Reigns said, I can't talk tonight. Roman Reigns said in his A&E biography that without that title, he's nothing. You know, they may as well not even exist in the world of wrestling. So I think it's an interesting way to get him into the title picture. His name keeps getting mentioned, like you said, just a little bit with Kevin Owens. So we'll have to see what happens with all of that moving forward. All right. Again, if you're just now checking us out on our YouTube channel, please make sure that you subscribe, like the video. We would appreciate that very, very much. We've got all of our episodes available in the archive, separated into playlists. Go check them out. There's trivia, there's fantasy booking, there's pay-per-view recaps, pay-per-view previews, old school stuff, the whole 9 yards. We cover everything. So make sure that you check it out. And again, subscribe if you haven't already. Doesn't cost you a thing. Helps us out a ton. And if you're new to the show and if you haven't followed us on social media, make sure you do that as well. Andy is at Andy_SQR. Yeah. I am at Chris Belcher 24. The show is at SQ Circle _radio.